Welcome to the Punch Up, where three comics and friends of New York Comedy Club sit down and talk about that quarantine life. If you've got a minute, like, subscribe, share, comment, all the stuff you can do to help support this podcast. We've got links to our staff fund as well as ways you can support the comedians you saw on the show today in the show notes. Enjoy.
I just like that you said dum-dum. That's my favorite word. I was looking at dum-dum.
I think you should do it and then create a character and then pretend like it's a wig. You're like, yeah, I take a lot of time to like glue a little piece of hair here.
It's like one line. It's awful. Oh.
I don't know if you guys relate, but I'm truly waiting because I don't naturally have two eyebrows. I have one, and I get them threaded every 2 weeks. And like I've been doing a little bit of plucking, but I've really let everything go. And I'm just like, I told my boyfriend, I like sat on him and I was like, prepare to see what I looked like at 14 before I knew that because I was going around being like, does everybody have two eyebrows? Am I just so Italian? But it's like a conspiracy. There's like 4 people that naturally have two eyebrows and everybody else is, especially like all my Middle Eastern friends. They're like, yeah, we never had two eyebrows. So this is give me like 2 more weeks and that'll be one.
I think you're going to get that 2 weeks, Liz.
I think we're going to get 2 years, everybody. I've been, every time somebody says how long this is going to be and they keep saying about social distance, I had my first cry. Like I've been Marco Poloing my best friend from high school and we were just going back and forth. And, you know, I don't know if you, like when you don't expect to cry, like she's my best friend. She's seen the worst of me, but I literally was like, and I was like, you know, I feel bad because I don't have real problems, but you know, I also don't know if I'll ever do comedy again. And I was like, bawling. And then I was like, and then I'm literally being like, this was supposed to be funny. Let me do the robot voice because you can do different voices. I was like, I'll do the robot voice while I'm crying, just so it doesn't seem serious because people are dying and this doesn't matter.
Yeah. No, I almost started crying. Matt Ruby just posted a comment on something somewhere. I can't remember if it was the New York page or mine or what. I'm just like, can't wait to see you guys all again. And like just reading that and thinking about seeing other people again, I started crying and I was like, oh, that was a nice comment.
Yeah.
Crying.
You could push me over with a feather right now. I'm an absolute puddle. I'm here all day. I'm alone with my dog. I watch cartoons and listen to the Grateful Dead to avoid the news. And then my wife comes home. She's an ICU, like she's a nurse practitioner.
Yeah.
And then she comes home. They took her and put her in the ICU and she's working with corona patients and she's in like full space suit, you know, like she comes home, all her clothes go in a bag, like she comes like showers, whatever. And then she like wears a mask in the house now.
Oh, wow.
And I'm talking to her and I try to keep it cool, but I'm just drinking. And then like, and you know how much I love live music, right? So like Fish and the Grateful Dead and all the bands I like are streaming concerts from the past. And I like sit and watch them and I just see like a sea of 60,000 people at like a music festival. And I'm sad I can't do comedy and I'm sad I can't go to concerts. I'm sad I can't hug my wife. And I just like drink and cry. And then she's like, what's the matter? And I'm like, it's never going to be the same. Nothing's ever going to be the same. Like, don't die. Don't do that. I'm like just losing it. So I'd microdosed mushrooms for a month before this whole thing happened. I feel like I kind of weirdly prepared myself or made it worse. Cause now I'm like, just, my brain is just, it's Swiss cheese right now. So.
God.
Which is so funny.
Sorry, go ahead.
No. Say what you're saying, Leah.
I think I was telling you, Amy, in my mind, I messaged you this when we were talking about walking. I don't even know if I actually did. In my mind, I did. I was out walking and I saw like a man delivering food and then he rang the doorbell and then he stepped way back and then the woman came out and they were obviously close, but he couldn't go near her. And I just hadn't cried. And then music came on my headphones. It was like a slow song. Yeah. And I just lost. I'd also seen this lady with this cat that really pushed me over. And then I started crying and then my nose ran. And you know how, I don't know, sometimes when I cry, I get like nose bubbles. And it was like running down my face, but then I couldn't touch my face because I touched my door when I left. And then I was like, you can't touch your face. And then I just had these big snot bubbles. And I was like, you know, my 6,000 steps out so I could then walk back. And then I was like, I had to walk home with these snot dried on my face because I was like, I'm not touching my face.
People, you were a story for people. People were like, we saw patient zero today. So it's not bubble girl.
Also, I don't know if you've seen, because I've spent too much time on TikTok, but what people are doing is taking old pictures from like, when they were like 4 or 5 and then doing it as adults with their family. And there's a part of me that knows that there's like a snot bubble picture of you where you just have to, and like, you could literally have been like, this is my moment to shine. I'll just walk out. I'll wear the same sweatshirt I wore when I was 6. But
Amy, can I ask you the question that we're all wondering?
Yeah.
What is there? I mean,
God.
every comic has talked to another comic about it. People are posting about it. Is there any, like, even an estimate of like 2020, 2021, like with comedy? I mean, is it restaurants? Is it going to be like when restaurants open?
I don't know.
Like, are comedy clubs considered restaurants or?
So it kind of sounded, I was listening to stuff that both, I think it was de Blasio and Newsom had said about each of our cities. And it sounded like we would kind of fall in with restaurants, but like there would be a real significant, more than just the cursory health and safety thing of like how you have to separate people and like people have to wear masks the entire time they're there, which obviously is weird and changes things, but still better than not people. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, like at the beginning of this, we were talking about like, okay, well, we'll plan that we're not going to be open before June, like let's plan for June at the earliest. And then if we get lucky, we get lucky. I don't think June is happening. And I mean,
coming quick.
But yeah, I mean, I've started having those conversations too, not like professionally, just personally of like, yeah, what is gonna happen? Like, how long will it be? And especially if there's a second wave in the fall, will we even get a chance to reopen in between those two things? Will we open and have to close again? Will anyone come or will they feel unsafe? It's crazy.
so this is my solution if you're ready for it.
Okay.
I think Gallagher was before his time. And I think this is almost real. I'm not even making jokes.
No,
Gallagher was before his time. You know how he had those tarps when he did the watermelon smashing. So the way I see it is like, how you go into some grocery stores or like if you go into an Uber now, like I was in an Uber and they have like a whole tarp. So because we talk and we can't wear a mask, there'd be like this kind of bubble boy tarp around the stage. Okay, hear me out. And then everybody would have individual like table tarps so they could take their mask off and still have their drink. And like everybody,
that's right. How do you drink?
And like, yeah, exactly. And then how like you go to like a lobster place and you get those like things to wipe your hands. Like everybody would get little lobster hand things. And if they want to wipe their glass or what have you, but like so everybody would be in like little bubble boy situations because I definitely spit when I talk fast. And I noticed that like I was in Europe when things were starting to get serious, but I was literally like, oh, I am patient zero. Like I've been to like 40 cities in 2 months and I've just been spitting on everybody. And like, I'm very, like, I'm sure it's more than 6 feet, like just aggressively infecting people. Every country I went to, it was starting to happen. And I really did think it was my fault, but I do think there's going to be some kind of tarp situation where like each table has its own little, like almost like shower curtains.
Yeah.
I thought you meant Gallagher, like the host would go up in between comics and just smash a Purell bottle with a sledgehammer.
Yeah, just
alcohol. Shower the room with it. I'm like,
how you want to change in this pandemic is up to you.
I've had weird thoughts about like, because we go through and we watch old videos and cut up clips and put them on and whatever. And I'm like watching a set and it's like, when you're doing stand up, everyone's facing you. And if you're doing well, everyone's exhaling at you.
Yeah.
And it's like, fuck them. Like, I'm so scared now. Like, it's just so crazy. It changed everything. Like, literally a little bit. What was it? It's the 17th today. So, like, 5 weeks ago, I think I did my last sets. And, I mean,
we were together. Remember, we were talking.
That's right.
About,
we were
in New York Green Room, and I was like, "We've been training for this.
Yeah, we have.
Been close for so long."
I think I told you that story too, Amy. This is a funny. I gave a homeless guy a bacon, egg, and cheese once, and he like wanted to shake my hand. Did I tell you this, Leah, that night?
No, you
wanted to shake my hand to say thank you, and I was like, "Get away from me!" And he grabbed my hand, and his palm was soaking wet. and I like freaked out, and I didn't have hand sanitizer, but I had a lighter, and I just held the lighter under my hand and just burned like a layer of skin off. I hate germs so much, and I was like, I'm ready for this. I knew this was coming. It's crazy.
Yeah.
I was reading Deadline Hollywood has this series called Reopening Hollywood, and they were talking about like all the things the studios are going to have to do to be able to shoot. You know, they were saying like earliest July, but like they're going to want to do things on lots because people aren't going to want to fly, and then you know they're going to have to like be really crazy around the actors who are the main people, and then everybody's going to have their temperature taken in, you know,
like
they were just
insurance.
like, yeah. And people are gonna have to sign a waiver saying that if they get, you know, these are all ideas people are giving, obviously, that if they get COVID on set, they can't sue, just so people will insure things, and how like they can't have, you know, the same kind of food anymore. Everything's gonna have to be wrapped individually. And
that's true. That's true.
Just down to like nuts and bolts, or everything's gonna have to change.
Wow, I didn't even think of that.
I saw an interview with the president of Live Nation, and he was talking about how concerts and like big sporting events and stuff, they think like 12 to 18 months, like they need a vaccine. They need to see that it's proven and that it works, and also they need some way of showing that like people got the vaccine before they like let 30,000 people go into.
We're gonna like literally
kind of sorta, yeah. I mean,
well,
like
there was actual discussion about a chip. Like if you get the vaccine, basically you get like a chip in your body, like we're in some dystopian future movie.
Well, this is
and
the
then
thing,
that
like,
chip.
yeah, really, it's like a Huxley book.
Yeah,
like
not getting a chip.
They can also GPS where you are, and if you've had your rabies and you're bored of teleshots.
Yeah, and all of a sudden you start voting differently. You're like, I've been taken over.
Yeah.
You're on stage, your face just melts off your head. The sparks coming out of your ears.
She got the chip.
Well, in China, like they have like QR codes that basically say like, you know, I've had the antibodies or I've had it and I'm over it. Like it's weird how I know that they got this before us, but like they're just technologically and society is so more in the future that I'm looking at them and I'm like, they were able to go through this and get through it. And I know it's still ever changing, but like that's so far from us because we've handled this like morons. And it's like, that's what's upsetting is like, I think we've always known like America isn't handling anything well, but like, it's really frustrating to be like, cool, it's not handling it well. And now has anybody else felt like, and this is half the thing I cried with my friend about, is like, I can't be upset that I can't work because my job is frivolous and unimportant. Like truly, like I feel like being like, I can't do my job. And people have been like, well, your job was a dream forever. I was like, yeah, but I just started making money doing it like 2 years ago.
Yeah, no, I have like a maybe less depressive version of that where like, I posted something similar to this on Facebook, but like I've always sort of, when I'm overwhelmed and stressed, like I tell myself like, you get to do this job because it is a luxury entertainment thing that exists because you were very lucky, you got born into an advanced society where there's so much wealth that this is a job. And yeah, like I have the similar thing of like, obviously your own problem is your own problem. Do you know what I mean? Like losing your livelihood, which is in many of our cases our personality, not person, you know what I mean? Like our world, like that's just as bad as anything else. But it's like, oh, right, we're not even like a regular functioning society anymore. Like we're not even doing the minimal functions of a society right now. And so yeah, my fun, I guess I'll go do data entry for $12 an hour.
I always knew I was going to be useless in the apocalypse, but I thought I had time. Like I remember telling my mom being like, I know nothing I do matters, but I thought I was going to find that out around 50. Like when I thought all this was going to happen in like at least 20 years. And now I am at like 34 and everything I learned is useless and I have no value. Was that uplifting?
Especially since your sentence you went down at the end where
really,
like, oh.
We're like, somebody go there, check on her. I think the
I
thing
am a good listener. That's just apocalyptic, and I know how to light fires, which we're all going to.
Which is great for hands. We all know.
Yeah.
clean yourself. That's the real hand sanitizer. Is just open flames.
Open flames.
I will tell you. I would have to say that, like, to what you said, Liz. I think that, like, the double-edged sword of my wife being what she is. Anytime I'm feeling bad for myself, all I do is think about what she's doing. And I'm like, yeah, I have nothing to complain about. Like, it's getting to a point, like, real life is happening while all this is going on. And I think that's something that we forget about. So, like, people who are dying of old age, cancer, whatever, like, they can't even go visit. Like, they have to, like, hold a phone and FaceTime their relatives.
Oh,
Yeah.
God.
You know what I'm saying? So, like,
Did
that's
you-
crazy to me.
Are you
So,
guys-
like,
Sorry.
and then I think about, like, what's been really nice is that fans of comedy and people who listen to the podcasts and radio shows and stuff have been sending messages being like, keep posting stuff, keep like sending podcasts out. Like, you guys are necessary employees too in our world. So I think that comedy fans, like, we do mean a ton to them. So
Yeah.
we're not useless at all. I don't think. I think that we mean more now than ever,
Yeah, I think it's just hard because my sister's a nurse. My parents are veterinarians, so they're like, somebody was just like, your mom's on the front lines. I was like, not for cats. Like, she's doing nothing. I like, even my mom is just like, I don't even know why people keep coming in. But like, you, as somebody that isn't like, you're not delivering stuff or you're not in the hospitals. And I know a lot of people even outside of entertainment feel that way. And it is hard. Like, do you guys know Michael Yo?
Yeah.
He got COVID-19, got pneumonia, was in the hospital, and when he got out and was able to like see his family again and was feeling better, he posted something. I mean, I bawled, where he was like, people don't understand, you're dying by yourself. Like they tell you, like, it's going to get really bad or really good really quick, and nobody can see you, and no one's there when it goes bad. And it was the first time that I was like, fuck. You don't even think about, like, I've had 4 friends deliver babies in the last like 3 weeks, and one person can be there. They can only be there for the delivery, and then they got to go, and nobody else can be there. And it's the first time that I was just like, we're not in a society where people have told us no, and that you can't do stuff, and that it's going to be you by yourself. Like, as much as I say Americans in general are individuals, I don't think we are. I think we are a community-based place. We might come from our goals being individualistic, but I don't think how we function and how we take care of people is individualistic. And I think that's what's, I think, hard on all levels. But I think you get a reality check every day, Mike. And when you don't talk to like one of my roommates is a drummer in a band, and he's learning coding, and he's like, what a great time to take a career change. And then my other roommate is a photographer that's also like he's learning like trigonometry right now. And I was like, that's a trigger word. Like, every time you say math words, it sounds like you're saying rape over and over again. Don't say math to me. He's literally learning like high school math, and it's really upsetting to me. But like, I'm in this weird bubble of unimportance. And I almost like, I see your side being also very stressful, but I do sometimes feel like that's helped. Like, my sister's a nurse in Virginia with 3 kids that she was like, oh, school's canceled forever. And I was like, oh, I'm doing great. I just remembered how great my life is, and I'm sorry.
Leah, it seems like forever ago, huh? That we were sitting in that green room. I mean, it's
Because-
kind of crazy.
Because what was happening was, you were just, so everybody, we were anxious, and I was like, we've been out there having shit all over our faces, touching dirty mics.
Yeah,
Like,
we were having a mic conversation. That's right.
we
How
were
gross
like,
mics are.
I was like, we have been on planes and like have eaten food off the floor, and I was like, we just have to hang in there.
We're ready.
Yeah.
Comics are ready.
Do you
Lee, who also got it, he said to me, he goes, I actually think that being a working comedian probably helped me get through it better than other people, because I've been exposed to everything. Everywhere.
I was just going to say, do you think we are the vaccine?
Oh my
Scrape
God,
the-
wouldn't
yeah.
that be a crazy twist?
Because
I mean, scrape the floor of a comedy club. I'm sure you'll find the
Because
Vaccine
even like I
don't
remember
work.
this so clearly. This was like months ago before any of this, but I hit my lip on the mic and I got pulled out of my set in my mind where I was like, oh, how do you wash your face immediately? Like I was just like, ugh. And I'm not a germaphobe, and even I was like, ugh. I think it's because I know all my peers, and I was like, I'm pretty sure
Yeah.
this
You
is.
think you do.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
think you do, but you have no idea.
I
think
always hit the
moving
mic
forward-
with my mouth, and so I've been wiping the inside of my mouth down with Purell for years.
Oh, Leah, gross.
Yeah, and Bill de Blasio.
How do you think her teeth stay so white?
Yeah, Bill de Blasio went on when one of his conferences and was like, I hope nobody's putting Purell in their mouth. And I was like, so stupid that you would have to say that to people. And also, I absolutely have been doing that. No shame about it. But I often hit the mic inside my lips. And then in my mind, I go, well, just fucking wipe it out when we get off stage. I'm going to wipe the whole mouth down. And then I come home and I gargle with peroxide.
My
Like a psycho.
my prediction is we're gonna all have our own mics when we come back, and they're gonna be like, you know, you can have your Twitter handle on it, and you can have like the Grateful Dead lightning bolt, and I really do believe like we're gonna be like professional pool players. Like we're gonna walk in with our like swap out. I mean, why not? You know, especially sometimes on the road. Like, you know, Amy in New York, I'm sure it's a lot different. You know, I'm sure you guys like sterilize stuff a lot more, but you do like a club. Sure. Yeah. I've smelled a microphone a couple times too close, but like you go to a club in like a mall in the middle of the country and you know, that shit's just been sitting there like stale since the last headliner touched it.
I don't even trust the couches in green rooms on the road.
Oh God, yeah.
Yeah, it's disgusting. We live like circus people.
Yeah,
it's awful.
My nails have gotten so long, and I'm doing way more dishes because it's all I do is shove my mouth. But I was like, I think it's from just not being on the subway. Like my body's like, oh my God, we can grow again. Like that's how I think the subway has just been like beating down upon us. You know what I mean?
I feel like we were a plant that was put in a closet. And then all of a sudden we're all like, they're just like, did you hear about sunlight and sleeping normal hours and not being in the air?
Going to bed at 9 o'clock. I am so rested and fat. I love it.
I'm so rested.
I feel like an elderly infant. I'm just like old. I'm young. I'm fat. I'm tired. I'm not tired. It's just
my underwear was tight yesterday, and I was like, went outside to go, and I was put on underwear, and they were too tight, and I was like, oh fuck.
All right. Well, if we're being honest, I gave myself. My goal was to not get crazy fat during this. I was going to try to like come out of this thing like ripped.
Yeah.
And we have an exercise bike, and I was lifting weights while riding the bike, and I gave myself my first hemorrhoid. Yeah. So while we're being honest, let's talk about it. Your underwear was tight.
Happening? Or I'm just curious.
No, the next day. So basically, like it's like a blister on your ass, and it like hurts so bad.
Oh, it hurts to sit. You have to sit on one of those little fluffy tubes. Those little blow-up tubes.
The one good thing about it was like a week of Corona quarantine that I was like, all right, at least I have something to do. It's like panic about my hemorrhoid, and it popped and blood was everywhere.
Oh no, they popped?
Now I'm better. Yeah, bad.
Yeah,
I mean,
so some people soak to make sure they pop.
I didn't realize they popped.
It's like a blister on the outside of your butt, and it like it what a dum-dum I was to give myself that.
Dum-dum!
Yeah. It hurt bad. And now I'm like, I need to rest. I think I just need cookies and bread.
Yeah.
And, that
was your body's way of being
that was my body being like, just relax, dude.
Your body was just like, no, we're not doing quarantine abs. That's not your future. That's not for you. That's not for you.
How's the staff doing, Amy? You talk to them ever?
Yeah, we actually have I talk to them regularly. We have an ongoing staff chat on WhatsApp, which is mostly memes and us making fun of each other.
Nice.
But yeah, everyone's doing pretty good. A number of people have successfully been able to start getting unemployment now, which was a real long
adventure.
road.
Yeah,
I was going to say that should pretty much be what this is. It's just teaching people how to get unemployment because
it would just be us on hold. That's all.
Yeah. Have you talked to anybody that's a human?
Yeah, it's brutal. Impractical Jokers wrapped up like right around I'm the writer for Inside Jokes. That wrapped like right before all this went down, And I mean, I think I got in like right before the rush
Oh wow.
Oh, yeah.
with unemployment. I mean, I got like, I hear stories of people sitting on hold for days.
I waited for a
Yeah.
week. I waited
Yeah.
for a week.
It's
And
crazy.
then I got bumped over to some other fund for, I guess,
Yeah, the
self-employed.
PUA
Yeah,
or
the
whatever.
PUA.
So then I had
think
to refill another one, and then they were like, "We'll get back to you in 3 more weeks." And I was like, "Cool, cool, cool."
Yeah, that was like
Brutal.
the so confusing thing too, because like the
Cool,
lady
cool, cool.
finally
Otherwise, we
called
don't
me,
need
but
bills.
it was like the extra new staff who don't know any actual answers. So she was like, "Okay, you can start filing on. You file on Sunday." I was like, "Well, it's Monday right now." She goes, "Yeah, just go in now." And I was like, "What? Oh, okay." And I go in. There's no regular unemployment things for me to fill out either. And so I just like clicked everything, and then I found the PUA form, and I was like, "Oh, I guess this is what I fill out that nobody explained to me is the thing."
It's so overwhelming and scary, and like there's a million things, and if you do it wrong, you're like, are they going to cut me off?
Yeah.
And you got to go to the back of the line again. It's awful. I tried being so nice to the lady on the phone just to get her direct extension to be like, can I get you back? Like, I feel like we make a team. And she's like, I got to go, you idiot.
I wonder if we're gonna get those 12 hundies. They said a whole bunch went out, and I was like, I didn't see it.
So
I know a
if
few people who already got it.
I run to my phone like it's Christmas morning, and I'm
Me
just
too,
like,
every
did Santa
morning.
come? Nope.
No,
so if you get
Santa.
your tax returns as direct deposit, it'll be direct deposit, and you should have gotten it. But if not, it'll be a check, and I think it's going to be another week because I haven't gotten it.
do direct deposit, and I didn't get it.
You need to start calling the president.
Yeah.
That's most
How about
likely for
that,
some
huh?
reason it's going to be a check. I don't know why, but yeah, I haven't gotten it, and it just made me realize, like, I was like, "Who? I'm supposed to be young. Why am I getting checks? Like, what? I don't like. Why are we bringing ink and paper into this? Like, I don't want to touch anything anybody else has touched. Like, everything should just automatically be direct deposit."
Yeah, there's a lot of life that's going to change, I think, with that. Like, I don't know why paper even exists anymore, and pens. I saw this
still
cool
like
thing.
paper. I like paper and pens for myself.
I do too, but I like
Everybody
mine.
else, yeah.
I
don't
like
need to
mine.
touch
You
your
know what I
paper.
mean? Like, I don't need to like touch the one at the bank or at the post office that's on the chain. Like, I'll just bring my own.
That is for
Bring your own
suicidal
pen.
purposes only.
And then they have like, I saw this really cool thing that's like a clean key. Have you seen that? That like you can,
No.
it's a key that like you can open doors with the hook. You can sign credit card. Like, when you go to a store and you use like, so you can use that as like the pen. If you Google clean key, I'm sure it'll show up on all your Facebook feeds because I set it near your phones.
Yeah.
But it's really awesome, and it's like a thing that you can use to like touch the buttons on an ATM machine. It's cool. It's like a
This is the
neat way of
cutest
like
old man advertisement.
that's
I've
it.
ever
That's
seen.
all I do now. That's all I do. And if you act now, it comes with hemorrhoid cream. I'm glad I got my first hemorrhoid out of the way.
That's true. Yeah, I got super excited. The lady at my wine store, when it was still open, when I put my card in the thing, she goes, like, I looked down and I realized it was one of those you had to sign, not like punch in numbers or whatever. And I was like, uh-oh. And she goes, oh, just take your card out. Use the edge of your card. It works. And I was like, oh, you are an angel.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So any of them that you have to sign, you can just use the side of the card.
There really is going to be so many like quarantine life hacks and like pandemic life hacks. Like, I'm getting because I love, those are my favorite things where they're just like, I don't know if you saw that one for hotels, which doesn't matter anymore, but you know how like the curtains never actually shut and there's always that sliver of light.
Yes.
And I can't handle light. And then I saw some Instagram life hack where you take the clothes hanger that has the clippies and you clip it shut.
Never thought of that.
Changed my goddamn life. I saw it 3 months ago, and every hotel I was like, because the first thing I do when I get at hotels is the do not disturb. Don't touch my stuff. Don't come into my room. I don't want you touching my stuff. The second thing I now do is I do the little curtain close thing, and I just stare at it, and I'm just like, my life has changed forever.
Oh no, that's great. It's such a great one.
I can tell you how many times I moved rooms for that. Put me on the dark side. Put me in the basement.
Stay put.
Yeah, I can't handle light anymore. I don't know what that is.
Going on the road is going to be so damn weird.
We're going to either be heroes or villains. I find that...
Or like, just sleep standing up in the tub. I mean, I really don't know how the hell am I going to get in a hotel bed and touch a door and touch... Yeah. I don't know. It's going to be strange. This whole thing is fucking crazy. I'm sorry. Yeah. I'm just having a little bit of realization right now.
No, I'm not.
Every now and then I just get hit with flashes of reality. Like,
I'm
oh
laughing
my God,
because it's true, not because it's ridiculous that you said it.
But are you guys getting those too every now and then,
Oh,
where it's
God,
like
yeah.
you like for an hour you've been like blissfully ignorant about reality, and then it comes back, and you're like, oh yeah, wait, we are prisoners on Earth. Like, what the fuck? How are we not living on another planet yet?
All right, that's the microdose.
We could be.
I gotta go listen to some Doors or something.
Yeah. All right.
you
Well, I hate to wrap this up, but actually we're almost out of time, you guys.
Oh no!
I know,
so
this has been so
fast.
delightful.
This was just friendship.
It was just talking.
Can I just stay here?
Yeah.
Well,
Anybody
I
wanna
We're
stay?
always here. That's
I have
we'll
the free
always
Zoom
be
plan,
here.
so they're gonna kick us off. But I'll start a new room. We can all just catch up
Yeah.
after
That's all
that.
good. Love you guys. Be safe, everyone.
Yeah, thank you guys so much.
Thank
thanks for setting
you.
So
us
nice
up.
to see you. Be safe.
I love
Great
all
to
your
see
faces.
everybody.
I love you too.
Bye.
Bye.
Be safe. Touch nothing.
Dum
Touch
dums.
nothing.